Hello friends, you must have heard about robots and seen them too, but have you ever heard of or seen a robotic dog made to help the army? This story begins in a high-tech lab named Saran. There, a scientist named Hendrik is presenting his new project in which he has made a robotic dog named Axel, who is also very loyal and faithful. Hendrik's dream was to use Axels in the army so that the soldiers could be helped. At the same time, on the other side, a boy named Miles, whose bike chain breaks during a bike race, due to which he loses. Miles gets very angry after seeing the winner celebrating after the race. Miles and his dad, who are very poor. Then Miles' dad goes to the winner and asks for an extra chain. The winner of the race, who is Sam, agrees to give him the chain. But then Sam's dad strictly refuses to give the chain. And after that, Miles and his dad become very sad. But after a while, a girl named Sarah comes and gives Miles a chain, which she has stolen from Sam. Then Miles immediately puts the chain on his bike and gets ready for his next race. In the next race, there is tough competition between Miles and Sam, but Miles uses all his strength and finally wins the race. After winning the race, Sam congratulates Miles for the victory and also invites him to a party. Miles initially refuses to go to the party, but then his dad comes and asks him to go to the party, and then Miles agrees. Meanwhile, a robotic dog named Axel runs away from the Seren lab, after which Andrew gets worried and sends a search team to find him. But by then, Axel reaches Sere. Then during the party, Sam takes Miles to the ground, where Sam sets a car on fire while blowing air, and Sam's friends are making a video of it. Miles doesn't like all this at all, so he goes inside the house, and after going in there he sees that many great bikes are parked. Then the girl who gave him the chain, Sarah, also comes there, and they both sit and talk a lot among themselves. The next day, Miles tells his dad about the previous night, and Miles says, "If I had the same facilities as Sam, I would have won the national champion by now." Meanwhile, Hendrik has a meeting with Captain Barman, and the captain talks about the Sing Axel's final product soon. Hendrik is nervous because the robot dog ran away. Then the next day, Sam comes to Miles and tells him, "I am inviting you to dirt bike racing." And Sam distracts Miles at the track so Sam's friends can tamper with Miles' bike fuel tank. Now, just a few minutes after the race starts, Miles' bikes break down and Miles falls from the bike. Sam and his friends make a video of the incident to tease Miles and then leave Miles alone there. Then Miles empties the tank of his bike and fills petrol in it. But Miles' bike doesn't start. Then he suddenly says that some sounds are coming from an empty container. Then Miles goes closer and sees that there is no one else there but the same robotic dog Axel. Miles gets scared after seeing Axel and picks up his bike and starts running away from there. But Axel uses his technology to easily find Miles and starts chasing him. But Miles is running to save his life, and he looks back and sees that Axel is chasing him, and he jumps and suddenly falls. And then Miles goes to Axel in fear, but by then Axel has turned on his self-destruction mode. Then Miles gathers courage and removes the rubber stuck around him. After this, Axel connects himself to Miles' phone and also turns off the self-destruction mode. Then Miles takes Axel back to the same container and tries to fix him with the instruction written there. And then the next day, Sam and his friends are watching that video of Miles. Then Sarah comes and stops the video in the middle and asks about Miles. But Miles was busy repairing Axel by removing the parts of his bike. Then Miles fills petrol in it and removes the cover from his mouth. Axel has many weapons in his mouth, but he doesn't attack Miles. Instead, Miles and Axel start playing together. Then the drones sent by the government surround them. Meanwhile, sitting in the lab, Berman tries to crash Axel's system, but Hendrik comes and stops him. The thing was dead. Hendrik wanted to see how Axel behaves with humans. After some time, Sarah comes to meet Miles, but Axel had not seen her before and is about to attack Sarah. That's why Miles comes in between and stops him. Miles explained to Axel that Sarah has not come to attack us. She is my good friend. Then at night, Sarah asks Miles to send Axel back to the lab. But Miles asks Sarah to look at the bullet marks on Axel's body. Who knows? His previous owner might have tried to run away with him, so I don't need to give him back. Seeing Sarah and Miles happy, Axel turns on the lights and play some nice songs, and then they both start dancing together. Meanwhile, sitting in the lab, the barman says that Miles and Sarah both are very poor people. Why don't we pay them some money and get our robot back? But Hendrik refuses and says that by living with humans, Axel has started to undergo many changes, which can be very useful in our research. The next day, Sarah and Miles decided to take Axel back from there by heading them. And on the other way, they stop at a petrol pump, and then Axel hacks the ATM and petrol machine. Due to this, they don't have to pay money. Instead, they get a lot of money from the ATM. Meanwhile, Sarah's mother asks Sam about Sarah, but Sam says, I don't know. After that, Sam starts tracking the location of Sarah's phone. Sarah and Miles hide in an empty house. There, both of them also do some painting on the wall. Meanwhile, Axel scans them and saves their activities in his mind. Then Axel shows a presentation of his, after which Sarah and Miles understand that Axel has been made to fight enemy soldiers in the war. Then Axel trusts Miles and gives him his biometric chip. In this way, Axel connects himself to Miles permanently. Here, Perman and Hendrik are watching everything, and Perman gets very angry and asks Hendrik to stop all this because now Axel is completely dependent on Miles. Just then, Sam also arrives and starts misbehaving with Sarah, but Miles leaves Axel to him, and Axel knocks Sam down in one go and starts dragging Sam to the ground. Then Axel is about to attack Sam, but Miles stops him. Seeing that Axel is following all of Miles' orders, Hendrik becomes very happy. But then Berman is very upset with all this, and then Sam leaves from there. After he leaves, Sarah gets very angry at Miles because Sarah's mother works for Sam's family, and then Sarah tells Miles that you should take advice from someone older about this, and after that both of them leaves Axel there and go to Miles' dad. And at night, Sam reaches with his friends to take revenge for his insult. Axel could not attack them even if he wanted to because Miles hadn't ordered him to do so. Pours a lot of petrol on the ground to take revenge and he sets it on fire. And one of Sam's friends is showing the whole incident live on social media. Meanwhile, Miles' dad asks to hand Axel back to the army, and then Sarah sees Sam's live video on the phone. After watching the video, Sarah and Miles quickly leave to go to the Axel, but Miles forgets the biometric sensor at home. Meanwhile, both the scientists in the lab are watching everything, but they couldn't do anything. By the time Sarah and Miles reaches Axel, it is too late. Miles somehow wakes Axel up and puts him in a truck, takes him to a 3D printing press, where Miles and Sarah design and print all of Axel's parts and fix them in Axel's body. After which Axel system gives a message that my hardware has been fixed, but it will take 2.5 hours for my system to reset. While waiting for all this, Sarah and Miles comes very close to each other and both start kissing each other. And as soon as Axel turns on, Hendrik finds out their location and he sends some government agents to catch them. But as soon as the agent goes to cover his face, Axel's system gets activated and Axel immediately attacks those agents. Then all of Axel's memories come back and he is hell-bent on taking revenge on Sam. As Axel immediately runs away from there to take revenge on Sam, and Sarah and Miles also follow Axel. Then Axel finds out Sam's location where Sam is partying with his friend. There are many people present there, but on seeing Axel, all the people start running here and there. Axel doesn't care about anyone else present there. He only wanted to take revenge on Sam. Then Sam tries to fight Axel with his flamethrower, but in the end his fuel runs out. Just then Sarah and Miles arrive and stop Axel at the right time. By then the drone sent by Hendrik also reached there and shut down Axel by giving him electric shocks. After this, the army officer comes and captures Axel, Miles and Sarah and take them to the lab. After taking them to the lab, Hendrik asks Miles about the biometric sensor. Where is that biometric sensor? But Miles tells Enric that Axel also has feelings and he should have the right to move freely. Enric is not in the mood to joke. He puts Sarah in the middle of a laser trap, from which, if she tries to come out, Axel will attack her. But Sarah uses her mind at that very moment and starts making designs in the air, which they had made that day on the wall of that empty house. She has made Mentos by hand, which Axel understands by scanning it with his mind. Then Axel, seeing Sarah and Miles imprisoned, jumps to attack Enric and Berman. Seeing all this, Enric and Berman escape from there, but on the way, they arrest Enric because Berman already sent a mail to the commander and told him everything about Enric. But Miles doesn't say goodbye to Axel. Then he decides to run away with Axel from the police. After which, Commander Vapor calls the military to kill Axel. Miles and Axel continue running out to town, but then Miles falls off his bike and Axel's scan reveals that Miles has a broken arm. Then he tries to help Miles, but Miles orders him to run away. Then the drones comes to him again and try to turn off his power like before. But this time Axel takes himself to a safe place and turns on the self-destruction mode. And before leaving, he looks at Miles one last time and then he blasts. Miles is very sad to see all this. Then after 6 weeks, Commander Pepper goes and meets Enric and asks him to join duty again, because somehow Axel's code is still running. That robot was trying to reconnect itself on its own. On the other hand, we saw that Miles and Sarah are sitting on a beach. While sitting like that, Miles presses the biometric sensor and suddenly Axel's logo starts appearing on both of their phones, which shows that Axel is still alive. He is alive. This is where the story ends. So friends, how do you like this story? Do tell us in the comments. And for such movie explanation, subscribe to our channel Movie Recap English. Okay, see you in the next movie. Bye bye.